The Texas Rangers are investigating the death of an East Texas student. Tonight we're learning more about the death of Lindale ISD student Adrian Thompson. She's the one who died last week after choking at Velma Penny Elementary School. Our JD Conti has new details from the school superintendent.
It's been a week since 8-year-old Adrian Thompson passed away. In a letter to Lindale families, Superintendent Surratt said Adrian died after choking at Velma Penny Elementary. Surratt writes there were life-saving efforts by the school nurse. These efforts included the Heimlich maneuver, the use of a life-vac device, and then CPR. Adrian was transported to Cook's Children's in Fort Worth. Surratt says he met Wednesday with Adrian's father. This video of him is from a vigil on Sunday where family and friends gathered in prayer.
The Lord's presence is here, and I just can't thank the community enough.
Surratt writes that, quote, during our meeting, he demonstrated strength, grace, and love that is difficult to adequately express in words. The purpose of this meeting was to provide the family with information and details related to this heartbreaking event. Now the Texas Rangers are investigating the incident. Surratt says they welcome the inquiry as they, quote, develop a strategic plan to strengthen and expand emergency response training for all staff members. Lindale ISD says they're also seeking an independent third party to review their safety equipment and response procedures. He's promised to share the results with the community. The Lindale ISD community remains in mourning tonight, and they are asking for your prayers. JD Conti, KLTV 7 News.
Just last year, Texas legislators passed a bill which requires each Texas public school to have an airway clearance device.